Now, the country has unveiled a new container terminal at the Mogadishu port, and that move marks a major milestone and significantly increases the country's cargo handling capacity. Now, the ceremony was led by the Minister of Ports and Marine Transport, Abdul Kader Mohammed Noor, along with the port's General Manager, Mohammed Ali.
We have to congratulate Somalia for attaining that possibility of upgrading their port possibility by close to 100,000 tera units. And the reason for applauding them is that there's this bigger vision that Africa is having to achieve what we call the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, and having ports facilities across the coastal parts of.
This decision hit Washington like a lightning strike. Overnight, a key port agreement was torn apart, and the United States suddenly found itself locked out of one of the most strategic coastlines on Earth. This is not just about ships and trade. It is about power, influence, and a country once underestimated deciding it will no longer play by someone else's rules. Why did Somalia cancel the deal? What did Washington lose? And what does this signal about the future of American influence in Africa? Stay with us, because this moment could reshape the balance of power in the Horn of Africa forever.
The announcement landed like a thunderclap across diplomatic circles and shipping lanes alike. In a single move that few in Washington expected, Somalia abruptly shut down a strategic port agreement tied to the United States, sending shockwaves through the Horn of Africa and rattling assumptions about American influence along one of the world's most critical maritime corridors. What had been quietly framed as a mutually beneficial partnership suddenly became a symbol of resistance, sovereignty, and a changing global balance. For observers watching closely, this was not just the cancellation of a commercial arrangement. It was a message delivered loudly and without apology. For years, Somalia's coastline has been viewed through a strategic lens by major powers. Stretching along the Indian Ocean and edging the Gulf of Aden, the country sits beside shipping routes that carry a significant share of global trade, energy supplies, and military traffic. Any port agreement in this region carries weight far beyond containers and cranes. It touches security, counterterrorism, regional stability, and the projection of power across East Africa and the Middle East. The United States understood this well, and its engagement with Somalia's port infrastructure was never purely economic. It was about presence, access, and influence in a volatile but strategically priceless zone. The agreement at the center of this storm was designed to deepen cooperation between Somali authorities and American-linked interests in port operations and logistics. Supporters argued it would modernize facilities, boost trade, and strengthen security cooperation. For Washington, it offered a foothold in a region where rivals have been steadily expanding their reach. For Somalia, the deal was initially presented as a pathway to development and international partnership after decades of instability. On paper, it appeared to align interests on both sides. In practice, it became increasingly controversial. As details of the agreement emerged, criticism inside Somalia grew louder. Lawmakers, civil society groups, and regional leaders raised alarms about transparency, national control, and the long-term consequences of granting foreign-linked entities significant leverage over strategic infrastructure. The port was not just an economic asset. It was a symbol of sovereignty hard-won after years of conflict and